Byron was one of those kind of figures. When I grew up, you always heard the names, and these were the big leaders, and Byron Mallott was always one of those. I always think the analogy that some of our leaders were giants, and Byron was kind of one of those giants amongst giants.
Byron was an introvert at heart. I think we all knew that. But he was an observer, and he was always watching, and he was always looking at everybody around him and really witnessing what was taking shape and what was unfolding.
He was a thinker, a deep thinker. Byron was always looking to do good work in the moment. He was always very present, even if he wasn't with his mouth going. And when he spoke, he had something to say that actually moved people to take action, or to listen, or to do something about it.
It's one of the things I think Byron was so good at was being comfortable with people. Clearly in the big business setting, he served on Alaska Airlines board, ran Sea Alaska, lieutenant governor. He could sit with anybody in the country. But more importantly to me, being an Alaska native from rural Alaska, is that he could sit with rural people he didn't know, rural Alaska natives, and have that instant connection and make them feel comfortable and hear their issues and then take it back and do something with it.
When it came to economic development, fish and game, health and social services, all of these various different aspects of our daily lives that many take for granted, he knew they were important to our people. He knew that our people were most often at the bottom of the stick when it came to who was getting that service. And so he did his damnedest to make sure that our people were at the table. Just the passion and the fire he carried for our people, you could feel it. It was amazing to watch. I didn't realize that leaders could be so impassioned and just in spur of the moment, just let it out and talk to each other in a way that demonstrated their heart. But realizing from that time that the most important leaders that I've witnessed in my life thus far have been those that let their hearts speak. And Byron was definitely one of those men.
Our communities deserve everything everybody else does. Whether you live in the smallest community or the largest city, all of our people deserve, the same treatment, and he demanded that. And he slammed his hands down like several times, and I was like, holy smokes. Boy, I can tell you, he had staffers kind of shaking, but he demanded that. He grew up in Yakutat, he'd been the mayor of Juneau, he had seen that disparity. Firsthand, he lived it. And so he demanded that. And to me, I remember sitting there as a Tlingit man, for the first time looking at a state of Alaska official, kind of demanding justice for us. I walked out on cloud nine. I left there just thinking, that's our lieutenant governor.
In a word, how would I describe Byron? I would say he was a trailblazer in everything he did. The Native Claims Settlement Act, everything, so many things in Washington, D.C., he was a part of for Alaska and for the Alaska Native people.
Raven. Byron was a major trickster. He loved to joke around, but he was also the creator of so many things. He created so many things and so many inroads for our people. He imbued his moiety very well.
Sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees, and I think Byron was able to see the forest and help others see that forest and see that, if we invest in our communities, we're going to prosper and we're going to do well for generations.
Courageous. That is one word that really sums him up. That's something that we all wish we had more of in tough moments, and Byron had no shortage of courage. He was overflowing.
Passion is the word to me that describes him the best. Passionate in all ways, about his friendships, about his family, about his beliefs, about his community, about the world, about the possibilities, just passion.
Byron saw the potential for what it would look like if Southeast was united. He saw the potential if all Alaska Natives were united. And even beyond that, with his relationships with the Native Hawaiians, with the Maoris, he understood the potential impact Indigenous people could have on this world if we were united. I think about that a lot. And I think about the commitment that he's made in his life. He gave his whole life to us. He gave 110% of who he was whenever he would sit in those positions to ensure that we all had what we needed to advance our people, to advance the voice of Alaska Native people in every setting. He only got a few years where he actually just got to relax and just be with his family. And we're forever grateful for the time that he gave to us, because he changed how the world sees Alaska Native people. It was because of him.